time with us. Roseville Electric, we're very excited about working with our builders, and we consider all builders and their trade partners key allies in the development of a community that's sustainable and successful. And so along those lines, we try to develop programs that are very user-friendly, shall we say. And so we're very proud about this program, and we think it's one that builders and their allies will find something that they can work along with and partner with us on. And in the future, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself and our TRC, and we're more than happy to work with you and make your experiences in Roseville a successful one. So with that, I'll turn it back to Myra. Thanks again.
Great. Thank you, Mark. As Mark mentioned, I didn't mention this earlier, I'm with TRC. And at this point, I'm going to hand the presentation off to Paige, who will be presenting today.
Thank you, Myra. Hi, everyone, and thank you again for joining us today. My name is Paige Wenzel, and I am the Associate Project Manager for the Roseville Advanced Homes Program. So you'll probably see my name a lot in email communications when we start enrolling you guys. And next slide, Myra. So if you haven't used GoToWebinar before, we have everyone muted except for the presenters. If you would like to ask a question, please use the question portion of your GoToWebinar pop-up. This can be done at any time during the presentation, and we will respond to questions at the end. We will be recording this presentation and posting it to our website for your reference at any time, or to share with those who may not have been able to attend today. So before we get started, we wanted to see who all was on the webinar today. So if you could please take a moment and click which answer fits your title best. Myra, do you want me to?
Can you launch the poll on your end, or? Okay, yeah.
Let's see if it works. Yep. Okay, so we'll give you guys a couple moments. Well, so far it looks like we're 50-50 on builders and energy, a little bit more energy consultants. And that looks like most have answered, and I will share the results if you guys want to see. So thank you, builders and energy consultants, for joining us today. And with that, we will jump right into the agenda. All right, so here's the agenda for the webinar today, starting the webinar with an overview of the program along with the program structure and eligibility. Then we'll go into more detail about the calculation methodology, the incentive structure, and the accepted bonus measures for the program. The final part of the webinar will review how to enroll your project into the program. And then at the final few moments, we'll go ahead and give time for a Q&A session if any questions pop up. Okay, so first off, program overview. The Roseville Advanced Homes Program, or RAHP as we'll call it, is a residential new construction program offered by Roseville Electric Utility to provide incentives to qualified single-family projects. It's an energy efficiency program intended to capture energy savings and assist builders in offering homes that are both highly efficient and affordable. The goal of the program is to improve energy efficiency and motivate builders, energy consultants, and HERS raters to build beyond minimum code requirements by providing cash incentives. And listed on this slide, there are the types of construction eligible for the program, including residential single-family new construction, and that does also entail duplexes and townhomes, as long as they're permitted under the 2019 Title 24 code. And I did also want to point out that multifamily construction, such as apartments and condominiums, will be reviewed and taken on case by case. All right, and then next is program structure. And as we talk about the program structure, we'll cover this in 3 sections. The first part of the program structure is eligibility. This will go over the general requirements for a project to be able to enroll. And then from there, base incentives are calculated from the Delta EDR, and then bonus measures can be added to increase incentives for the project. And in the next few slides, I'll go over each of these in a bit more detail. Okay, so if you've participated in previous RAHP programs, you'll notice that the requirements for the new cycle are similar to those from past years. Just like the previous program, RAHP qualifies projects on a lot-by-lot basis. This means that even if not every plan and orientation meets requirements, a project can still be enrolled and receive incentives for the homes that do meet eligibility. A project must also show positive kilowatt-hour savings, meet a minimum Delta EDR of 2, and be permitted under now the Title 24 2019 code. Additional requirements to this program cycle includes having smart thermostats and Energy Star appliances installed, as well as having whole home pre-wire. And next one, okay. So now we'll go into how a project can calculate incentives. For each lot that meets the eligibility requirements, the base incentives start at $350 with that Delta EDR score of 2. If a lot achieves a Delta EDR above 2, they will receive an additional $20 for every 0.1 EDR that it increases. This additional $20 increase continues until the Delta EDR reaches 4.4, in which the incentives increase again to $25 per every 0.1 above 4.4. So as you can see in this graph, the higher the Delta EDR, the higher the base incentive, the base incentive amount will be, and that's shown in the gray. Then a project can add bonus measures for additional incentives to layer on top of that base incentive amount, and those are shown in the light blue, dark blue, and black. So an example of this, say a lot has a Delta EDR of 2.5, they would receive the base incentive amount of $350 plus $100 for those additional 0.5 points for a total of $450. Now, if a lot has a Delta EDR of, say, 4.5, they receive the base incentive amount again of $350, but this time an additional $505 would be added on top of that for a total of $855 base incentive for that lot. All right, and next one. So in previous code cycles, the percentage above code was the metric used to confirm compliance. Now with the 2019 code cycle, we have moved away from the percentage metric, and the Delta EDR score is now used as the compliance metric. So to calculate the Delta EDR and confirm eligibility for RAHP, you will take the standard efficiency EDR and subtract the proposed efficiency EDR to get that Delta EDR. Next one. All right. And there are different types of EDRs used throughout the industry, but for the purpose of this program, and as mentioned earlier, we use the Delta EDR score. RAHP uses the standard and proposed efficiency EDRs to determine project eligibility because homes within the project need to achieve a score of 2.0 without factoring in solar. And this is why the EDR value of standard design PV and the EDR of proposed PV and flexibility are not used for this program. You can see the definitions for the different types up there if you need it for your reference.
And I just want to chime in here real quick. If you've participated in other residential new construction programs in California, you might already be familiar with the Delta EDR score. If not, we do have a program manual, and we're always willing to answer any technical questions you guys have at the end of the webinar, but also after.
Thank you, Mara. Okay, so now once you have your Delta EDR score and your base incentive amount, you can increase your incentive by adding the following bonus measures. These bonuses include envelope, HVAC, and domestic hot water measures. For envelope measures, a project can receive $200 in incentives for high performance attics, walls, and fenestration. And on the next slide, another envelope measure is building air tightness. These ones start at $50 and can go as high as $200. So a project can receive an additional incentives of up to $800 if they implement these envelope elements into their homes. So it can start at 50 and can go as high as 800 if just these envelope measures are included. And next on the bonus measures, there are also HVAC and equipment measures eligible for these bonus incentives. Homes can include balanced indoor air quality, heat pumps, space heaters, high efficiency HVAC, whole house fans, and heat pump water heaters for cash bonuses. If all of the measures listed on this slide are implemented, the bonus incentives can increase to $1,750 per lot that implements these. And if you have any questions on the specifics of these measures, you can ask questions in the question box and we'll review them at the end. And like Myra said, we are finalizing the program manual, which will also have the details for these bonus measures in there as well. Okay. So now that we've covered how to increase incentives for a project, next you'll need to know how to apply. So to apply for the program, you must first create your Title 24 documentation by targeting a Delta EDR score of 2 or higher. If needed, we are able to provide design assistance to get you to a Delta EDR of 2 during this application process. So once your Title 24 documentation is ready, you would contact a TRC representative, and then our contact information will be listed at the end of this presentation for your reference as well. And once you complete the application and sign it and send it in, collect all application forms that are required to be sent in with it, and that is how your application will be complete, and you'll send it to the TRC representative.
Again, I want to chime in here real quick. So most of the documentation that we request is documentation that you already need to submit for building permits, with the exception of step 3, the application. It is a one-page application, and we'll go through that in detail. It might be on the next slide. Is it the next slide?
Yep.
And then the incentive calculator, which is also a reference to you to estimate your incentive before you make the decision to apply.
Thank you, Myra. All right, and this is what the application looks like. The only section that you don't see is just the bottom with the T's and C's and your signature. But the first section is where the applicant will fill out their information, such as address and phone number, federal tax ID, and so on. And then the next section is for project information, such as the project name, address, and project contact information. Under the project information section, we do request you fill out the number of units that will be completed each year. While we understand that construction is hard to estimate, we do request that you are as accurate as possible with your estimates. This ensures that there are enough annual funds to pay out your incentives per year. And then the final section on the application will gather information on the type of project that is being built. We accept one application per project, and within that project there is a section in here where you can confirm how many plan types there are for the singular project. So therefore we don't need you to submit an application per plan type, just one for the entire project. And once the application is filled out, you would move on to collecting all the required documentation to submit alongside the application, which Myra has mentioned, and we'll go into more detail on the next slide. Okay, for a complete application, you must submit these listed documents alongside the application. These additional documents help us determine eligibility and confirm project completion for incentive payment. Most of the required documentation, as Myra mentioned, is already necessary for your building permits, and the only additional documentation we request is the one-page application and the incentive calculator. And to point out on this slide that the incentive calculator is now required and not optional and must be submitted, especially if bonus measures are being taken. The incentive calculator must be completed for each plan the bonus measure is being applied to. If we do not receive the incentive calculator for a plan, the plan will be enrolled without any bonuses. And for this one, the updated calculator for the new program cycle will be up on the website shortly, or you can always request one from us via email. And next one. Okay, so once your application package is ready, this is the following process for the program. First, the application package is sent to TRC. Once TRC receives the application and all supporting documentation, it will begin plan review. After plan review has been completed, incentives will be reserved and the project team will receive an acceptance package, as you see in step 3. If there are any design changes, please notify a TRC team as soon as possible so that TRC can make the necessary updates to the project acceptance package and the incentives amounts. And finally, incentives are requested upon project completion, which means construction is completed for the RAHP program. You do not need to wait until you receive a certificate of occupancy. For RAHP purposes, incentives can be requested when the CF3R is uploaded into the HERS registry. This is how we verify completion of construction on our end for the program.
I'm gonna chime in here real quick.
Yep.
For step 4, we indicate the acceptance package is sent. This is the step where the project is officially enrolled in the program. Incentives, depending on the length of your construction, incentives won't get paid out at that point. Again, they'll get paid out at the end of construction.
Thank you, Myra. Okay, so reiterating the need to notify TRC of design changes, it's important that you communicate any design changes to our team because it could affect program eligibility and incentive amounts. Listed here are some examples of design changes, such as additional plans, changes to plans, or added lots that TRC would need to be informed about. And then to adjust your enrolled project, you would need to contact a TRC representative and submit an adjustment application along with any required supporting documentation for the adjustment.
Going back. Oh, that's the next slide.
Yeah, okay. So now this is part of the acceptance package we submit to you once plan review is complete and your project is enrolled. And this is the IRF or incentive request form. Please save this form as this will be what you submit once lots have finished construction. And it is up to your discretion how many lots you want to put on an IRF. You can submit as lots are completed, submit in multiples of 5s, 10s, 20s, etc., or wait until the entire project is completed. We do generally give projects 36 months from the acceptance date to submit their final IRF. So as long as the enrolled lots have been listed on an IRF before that 36-month mark, incentives will be paid for all lots enrolled. Anything to add for that one, Myra?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Okay, and with that, that concludes the presentation portion of the webinar. A little bit shorter, so we have about 40 minutes left for any questions that may have come in, and then if we finish off early, you guys can get a little bit of your lunch hour back.
Yeah, I am not seeing any questions on the dashboard here.
Hey, Mara.
Yep.
So this is Mark, and I just wanted to make a comment that as far as like incentive payout goes, from the utilities perspective, we like to receive payment requests as you guys go along and not at the end. It makes our budgetary life much easier. And so if you guys could submit them upon completion once a week, once a month, however you want to do it is fine. That would be a great help to us.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll, as TRC, we'll definitely reinforce that message as we reach out to participants as well. Yeah, I'm still not seeing any questions here.
The other comment is, as on this program, there's some incentives for the heat pump, water heater, heat pump space heaters. And so the utility and TRC are working together to try to develop some educational opportunities. And as it was mentioned in the presentation, they are able to help with some consulting work to help you all implement those in your designs. And we would definitely like to see some builders start using those technologies, and we would like to facilitate that as much as we can beyond the rebates.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark, for reinforcing that. Looks like I got one question. Okay, so for the current program manual, we're finalizing it. It's still not on the website yet, but we have your contact information. We can send that out to you directly when that is finalized. I expect it to be done next week. And once it's finalized, we'll also have it on the on the website as well. If you have any specific questions about the measures, what the requirements are, feel free to ask those. If you don't want to wait for the final program manual, that's totally fine. You can email us direct questions as well. Okay, any other questions? The HRV effectiveness, yeah, the required minimum is a 79% for the HRV effectiveness. This is a new program, and we don't anticipate to make any changes to that now, but that is what it is. Okay, great. Thank you guys for your questions, really good questions. Any whole house fan requirements? No, we don't have any whole house fan requirement. Oh, excuse me. It should be a CEC approved equipment. And I'm not sure if the CEC has a specific list of manufacturers, but I can revisit that to get more specific information on what it means to be a CEC approved whole house fan.
We can
And then I'll
probably
get
send
back
out
to
a
you.
link to that as well.
Do you
There's a
want to
website that the CEC uses.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, hi everyone. I'm Mara. I'm one of the plan reviewers and pipeline managers of the RAHP program.
Thank you, Mara.
Yeah, thanks, Mara. Please say we can send a link. Does that link have specific models for CEC approved whole house fans? Is that what's on the ballot?
It's not. It's you can go ahead and input the information on the whole house fan that you intend to use, and I think it's usually by model number and by the brand. And if it's on that website, then the CEC considers it approved.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Let's see. I think I answered. There's another question here. Can it be default no HERS fan, meaning no testing? I don't know the answer to that right now, but we can get back to you. Write that down. Let's see any other ones. Okay. I think I answered. This might be a question for you, Mara. Do you know of any HRVs that do meet the 79% efficient, not the efficiency, but the, oh, I'm losing my train of thought here. Effectiveness.
Not off the top of my head. HRVs come in not fairly regularly. So unfortunately, I don't have like a spec sheet handy for that.
Okay. This might be an example of where we could do provide a little bit of design assistance where we can recommend some HRVs. As of right now, we don't know any off the top of our heads, but we can search, put together a list, and then get back to you.
I
Yeah,
see one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I see one question. So this webinar has been recorded and will be posted. Mari, do we have any thoughts if we want to send out just the PowerPoint slides, or are we just doing the recorded webinar?
We'll record it, put it on the website. If you do want a copy of it yourself, you can always email us and get it from us. But it will be publicly available for your reference. Okay. And I think that's it. Paige, you see any other ones that I missed?
Nope. I think I see only the ones we have gone through so far.
Okay.
But if any other questions do come up, again, our contact information is on the end of this PowerPoint. And at the close of the webinar, there's going to be a short survey, which we would like for you guys to fill out, take a moment and fill out. We'll be using the survey internally to gauge interest and experience in all electric construction, and just kind of see where some builders or ECs and HERS raters are at with, like Mark pointed out, the heat pump water heaters and those kind of newer technologies.
Great. I think we can conclude then.
All right. Well, you guys will get about 30 minutes left of your lunch back.
Thank you all for attending.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And
I think I need to